Hi, I'm Mindy. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be going over the 3 Readathon TBRs for November. I plan on participating in the Stephathon, which is hosted by Stephanie from A Latte Thoughts, and also the Cryptid Readathon, which is hosted by Crystal from Fiber Artsy and Jason's Weird Reads and Sin's Book Nook. And then Evil-a-thon, which is hosted by Kasha's Book Cemetery. And all of these readathons go the entire month of November. I'll have the announcement videos and channels linked down below so you can check them out. And now I will go through what I plan on reading for the prompts in these readathons. For Stephathon, the first prompt is, her favorite flowers are tulips. Read a book with flowers on the cover. And I'll be reading Under Her Eye, which is a anthology of poetry, horror poetry written by women. And Under Her Eye is a NetGalley arc that I need to read. So that is another great reason to read it. Prompt number 2 is, she's getting more into horror. Read a horror book. And for this, I've chosen Dead Lake by Darcy Coates. And this is also a book club book for the Creatures Everywhere book club, which is hosted by Literary Stoner. I'll have that channel link down below. Prompt 3, she waited a long time to read Useless Magic. Read a book written by a musician. Okay, for that I am reading Mallory by Josh Mallerman because I know he is also in a band. So he's a musician. Prompt 4, she loves the Lunar Chronicles. Read a retelling. And my retelling is The Salt Grows Heavy by Cassandra Kah. I'm also reading this for the, Cryptid Readathon. More about that later, but this is a very short novella, and it is loosely a retelling of The Little Mermaid. Kind of a definitely a more horror take on The Little Mermaid, though. Prompt 5 is, she's been reading a lot of graphic novels. Read a graphic novel. And I will take on Roughneck by Jeff Lemire. And I lost the cover of it because it got ruined, but nice blue tone pictures, graphic novel. And the last prompt is, she plans on reading every book from every adaptation she has seen. Read a book whose movie you've watched. I'm not doing a movie. I'm doing TV show Good Omens by Neil Gaiman and Terry Pratchett, because this is also for the Buzzword Reading Challenge and my random TBR, so Good Omens is my choice. Now for the Cryptid Readathon. First prompt is to read a book about your favorite cryptid, and my favorite cryptid is the mermaid, so I'm reading The Salt Grows Heavy by Cassandra Kah. I have a lot of mermaid books, just saying. Maybe only 2. Yeah, only 2. It's not so bad. Okay, read a book about a cryptid. you would not like to run into alone in the dark. And I would not want to run into a crack squatch. Sasquatch, but make it high on crack. Oh boy. Read a book about a water-based cryptid. I'll be reading Rolling in the Deep by Mir Grant. Read a book about a forest-dwelling cryptid. My choice for that is Devolution by Max Brooks. And this is about Bigfoot. And finally, read a book or story featuring a cryptid that has been sighted near you. And a cryptid in my area in Wyoming is a jackalope. So I am going to read Jackalope Wives by T. Kingfisher. And I hope it's a good one. I've liked T. Kingfisher's stories so far. And then the last readathon that I'm participating in November is Evil-a-thon. And all of the prompts this year are based on Saw movie traps. And the first one is the needle pit from Saw 2. And the prompt is to read a book you keep seeing around and keeps piquing your interest. And the one I keep seeing around and am interested in is The Only One Left by Riley Sager. A thriller, mystery, little spooky. Okay then. Next is The Bathroom Trap from the original Saw. The prompt is to read a book you expect to be 5 stars and would take to your bathroom with you because you simply cannot put it down. That for me is Corpse Mouth by John Langan. This is a collection of short stories from the author of my favorite book ever, The Fisherman, so I think I'm going to love this collection. The Angel Trap from Saw 4. Read a supernatural or paranormal horror book. For that, I picked Darker Than Night by Owl Going Back. Next is A Scalping Seat from Saw 4. Oh, and Darker Than Night is also a book club pick for the Dark Hearts Book Club, hosted by Amy Noel Reads. Next is Shotgun Carousel from Saw 6. And it says to go to your TBR list and choose a horror book at random. So I went to my Goodreads list. I did a random number generator. I went to that number in my TBR list. It is not all horror, so I went down to the next horror book. I only had to go down about 5, and this is the book I got. It's Ghoul by Brian King. I think this is a coming of age, like 1980s vibes horror book. Okay. Next is Death Mask from Saw 2. Read a horror book with a masked killer. I don't know if this is going to be a masked killer, but it does have a killer in it. I don't know much about it yet because I haven't read it, but I chose Dead Lake by Darcy Coates, which I think is a slasher or has a killer in it. And this is also a book club pick. Creatures everywhere. So that works well. Laser Collar from the movie Jigsaw. read a sci-fi horror. And for this, I have the perfect pick. It is Hellwig's Keep, and this is coming out from Flame Tree Press. And I have a NetGalley ARC, so I'll be reading and reviewing that. And I will have the author somewhere on the screen. This is a sci-fi horror book. I think it is taking place in space. Next is Public Execution from Saw 3D. Read a horror book that you would not like to read in public, and for that I have chosen Crack Squatch. Don't think I would read that one in public, just because it's ridiculous. The Pendulum Trap from Saw 5. Read a short horror story. I'm going to be reading a lot of short horror stories from Corpse Mouth, John Langan. One of these will be my short story. And then The Rack from Saw 3. And the prompt is to watch a religious horror movie. And I will be watching The Possession of Hannah Grace. And I chose this one because I'm trying to watch all the movies I've gotten from my horror pack subscription. This came in, I think it was the first box I got. Yeah, it's an exorcism movie taking place in a morgue, which is a great premise. This is a great cover, and it doesn't have the best reviews, but I'm looking forward to seeing what I think of this one. That's all the books on my November TBR for readathons, and all the other reasons that I am reading them, combined with the books from my last TBR, my random TBR. That should be all the books I'm planning on reading in November. Let me know if you are participating in any of these events, and I would also like to know, what are you most excited to read in November, as well as if you've read any of these books that I've chosen, what you think of them. And I'll be back very soon with another book-related video. Thanks. Bye.